And welcome. How you doing today, AJ? Epic. Well, it's an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to have you on the show today, folks. Just to get into it real quick, AJ is a wonderful guy. I looked at his name and was pronouncing it Ajay in my head the entire time. And if you know from Horace, if you watched Horace Reese's episode, you'll know that sometimes I struggle with even common names. So AJ has kindly told me I could either call him AJ or Ajay. So maybe we should have a little counter. If I had enough time, I'd come up with a little counter with just little ups and downs to see how many times I pronounce it each way. But let's see, the over under will be 3 on that, and you guys can all decide what you want to do in the background. So AJ, out of respect for your time, and because I know that you're more important than I am, but I always like to have fun, we're going to get right into it. As we always do here on Expert Showcase, we talk to our guests about their hero's journey. The hero's journey, which is, where they came from, what that turning point was, and what the aftermath was. Before we get into each of those particular segments, can you give me a quick overview, maybe 60 seconds to a minute, just kind of a quick overview of your journey that led you from where you were before you became the success you are today to when you became the success you are today?
Sure. First thing you want to know, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, and I'm an entrepreneur, basically in that same sequence that I said. And I have, as an entrepreneur, I have built 2 7-figure businesses that I'm running. Like I started my journey as an entrepreneur after I was fired from a company. That's the reality, and we can go into all the detail, but I don't want to do that in terms of why. But that was, and even though I had a job offer very quickly after I was fired, my concern at that point was I started to realize that I do not have any control over my destiny in corporation, even if you are quote-unquote successful, by the world standard. So I turned down the job offer, and I figured that I want to now have control of my destiny. So that's how my entrepreneurship area started. Now my skill, I've been in the marketing and strategy area in the corporate America before, so it was natural for me to get into that area. And I started actually with doing some consulting for large companies, and then I realized that it was worse than working for a company because now you are doing something from outside, not inside. So I started to target smaller businesses. And very quickly, and this you have to realize this is 2004, so 11 years back, I realized that most of the small businesses really needed help with what I call the whole internet strategy and execution, because internet was already becoming important for businesses. And surprisingly, many small businesses I talked to wouldn't even think that they needed a website, forget about the strategy and marketing. So that was the beginning. And then for whatever reason, I ran into quite a few entrepreneurs, wannabe entrepreneurs like me, who wanted to select a web-based business. So since I saw a need for web, and candidly, still my design and my style is still corporate, so I quickly built a small team to support, because I'm not a programmer, for example. So I got a programmer, I built a small team, and I started helping businesses with their internet needs. Then I ran into, literally 2-3 months into it, several entrepreneurs who wanted to come and they create a web-based business. And so I knew how to create the website, but honestly, web-based business, of course, there's a common sense aspect of it, but I had not done it. So that was the reason where I started this another business that I own. I own 2 7-figure businesses. One is, of course, the digital marketing agency, GMR Web Team. But during this initial phase of consulting, I realized that there was a need for the transcription. Actually, I thought for marketing. No, it turned out that it was much bigger need. But the problem was there was no simple method. And again, 11 years back, I'm talking about where you can have your voice that you have recorded getting transcribed. And I knew that because I did that. I had a recording and I tried to transcribe it. So in the back of my mind, I knew that there was a business. So I figured that before I start frankly charging, and many of these are entrepreneurs who didn't have a lot of money, charging them fee for marketing. Website design was one thing, marketing was another animal. So I figured I better have a test it. And so I wanted to create a guinea pig, and that was the creation of GMR transcription. So I wanted to first test my methods to see if it works before I would charge my client to do the same thing. Now, luckily, you want to say, it was the right place in the right time and everything, and there was a demand for it that I had underestimated at that time. So it just took off. The demand was right from the very beginning. I understood was high, and then of course my marketing methods worked. So all of a sudden I had like 2 companies running instead of 1, and I had to literally hire a team, and I have a team of 3 people who run this 7-figure business, because then I created all the processes and everything to make it simple. So this was the journey, and as I started, you'll be surprised that starting in 2004 with my transcription, I did not really started offering marketing. I used to offer consulting in terms of strategy, because that was I always knew in terms of how your website to the business, how their online strategy has to be consistent with their business strategy. But I did not start offering web marketing until 2009, which was like 5 years. And by then, I had already made this GMR transcription into a 7-figure business. So then I could sit down and create a checklist of what you need to do to market. And then I had started offering marketing also, the internet marketing. And today we are a full digital marketing agency. We have small and medium-sized businesses where you think of it as we are their online marketing department. So we do everything, right from website designing to strategy to marketing to execution to tracking and improving everything we do for our clients. So this is like you said, short version. I guess it was a little bit longer. So
that's okay. Hey, but as the viewers of the show know, I also have a little bit of IT in my background. One of the companies I own, also does websites and all this other stuff. So I'm used to. I can get behind, and I'm used to the. I'll say that the way us IT or the people in and around the IT industry explain things. So it's all good. So let me ask you a few things. I think that was first of all, I think that was a great full in-depth description of your hero's journey, and I commend you on your hero's journey. I mean, I remember back in 2004, I was working for a Fortune 500 company at the time, in information technology, and I remember how much different the time was, and the fact of, even though websites had been around for, and I think I created my first website back in 95, 96, 97, something like that. It was one of those 3 years. Though those years all blur together with me. It's kind of like, the 60s. If you remember them, then you didn't experience them. But anyway, that's a topic for another show. But so yeah, I remember what it was. I remember what it was like back then, and even by 2004, people just had no concept of where everything. Most people didn't. Some people like yourself did, but most people didn't have a concept of where.
Some people even today don't have that concept. To be very candid.
Yeah, but AJ, that's why guys like you and I are in business, because they don't have the concept, and we're the ones that have to show them that, hey, this is what you really can do. And by the way, I'm going to give you AJ's website later on, and you're going to have to wait for a little pop-up to come down at the bottom, because I love what he says on it. But you're going to have to go to the website to find out what that's all about. So let me ask you let's dig a little bit deeper. And since that was such a great big overview, and I really think that the folks got a lot out of it, I'm going to ask some pointed questions about each piece along your journey, because one of the things our viewers love to do is associate with people at that time. Like everybody is got this beginning phase. So everybody is, where they're maybe mildly successful in something. And then everybody has that turning point, that tragic, or maybe not so tragic. For you and I, it was tragic. I mean, it's kind of, we fall along the same paths. I was a senior director for a Fortune 500 company, got laid off, went through major, I unfortunately didn't get my golden ticket right away like you did. It's been a challenge to get to the aftermath, but now that we're here and the aftermath is great. So I can really relate to your story. So let me ask you a few questions. Let's focus on the beginning.
To watch the rest of this epic episode now, click on the link below the video. Do it now, you'll be glad you did. Are you still here? What are you waiting for? Watch the rest of this epic episode now by clicking on the link below the video.